to have audio. Um, and we've got a great weather condition right here right now. So we're going to time this perfectly in between every raindrop. We're going to zig and zag and not get rained on. So we're going to just make this work best we can. So, matter of fact, well, let me grab it. I'll grab somebody. We're on. Audio's good. Okay, I'm getting the thumbs up that the audio is good to go. So that's okay. Well, I'll just chat and visit with everybody for a minute while we get started. It's 4 o'clock, right? We're close. I always get kind of bugged on starting things on time, and so what time is it? 3:59. Okay, so unofficially, we're just still okay. But I don't know. I have a thing about starting stuff, and well, welcome everybody. Glad you all made it, and welcome to my backyard. And this is my backyard. This is my office. This is my therapy area. This is where I work on horses. This is where I work on me. This is where all sorts of life stuff gets figured out in this round pen. This is a beautiful space and a place that for me to kind of do my work in. So we just built this last year, because before I would have people sitting, imagine all of you at the ground level, and you're sitting down, and every time I'm trying to talk to you, there'd be a bar like right in the way of everybody's eyes. And so I was always like trying to see people and have to move around. So we kind of got this elevated where we can see in a little bit better. So a couple of just kind of housekeeping items, things that we need to know. One for sure that I want everybody to know is that you are totally safe sitting up there. And that should you get up and move around, I know all of you would be very conscious of your feet and where you're walking, and we would all stay up there. Is everybody hearing what I'm saying? And we will all agree to stay up there. You'll have a different experience if you come down here without it working correctly. So I love it. Everybody can stay up there. The other little housekeeping item is I am totally deaf in my right ear, and I'm 52 years old. So my left ear only works about 48% anymore, is kind of how I'm averaging that. I figure if I make 100 and I can hear a little bit, then that'll be okay. So what that means is when I'm asking or talking, and if somebody has a question or something, and you say something, I can't tell which direction or where it comes from. So I might be looking at Melody and hearing somebody's voice. I'm like, wow, she is like a ventriloquist. Like our mouth is not even moving. And then, it's Ray Lynn or somebody clear over here. And I'm like, yeah. It's the strangest thing, but I can't, my brain can't orient where sounds come from. So, and I think partly my brain is just turning off a lot of sounds because it's like way too complicated to try to figure out where things are coming from when it can't. And so it just starts shutting things off. And so I have to attentively put my attention on you to hear you. Does that make sense? So what I do when I'm confused and I don't know who's talking is I'll stand like this with my hand, and I'm like, oh, you're talking. Okay, got you right here. So if you see that happening, that's what that is me trying to figure out who's talking. And so, that's how that'll work. Today we're going to be talking about some horses. You guys come on in. Yeah. Grab seats wherever you can. You kind of got them. Perfect. We got just a few more people coming in. Today we're going to be talking a lot about stories and the power of our stories. And then I'm going to talk about the science behind our stories. And I want to talk about Mother Nature and our stories. Here's a great quote or great statement that I've really enjoyed once I kind of found it and figured it out is one, horses don't lie, and science is proven truth. So when I check everything against those two models in my life, that's a great, I can't think of the word, but it's like a baseline, or that's a reference that I can check and refer to. What does science say? What does Mother Nature say? Right? So Mother Nature is the horse, and Cuz, as handsome as he, hi, that's Cuz. Cuz couldn't lie to you if his life depended on it. One thing about Cuz is he's 100% authentic and real in every moment that he's in. Does that make sense? He is an animal. And Cuz doesn't have a prefrontal cortex where he can think or reason. He can't do, if this, then that type scenarios. I love it when my clients are maybe hanging out and talking with their horse, and they tell their horse, well, if you're a good boy for Wes, when he's here, we'll get some extra grain tonight. Right? That horse has no idea of good behavior, bad behavior, extra grain, or no grain. He just looks in the bucket. If there's grain in there, great, I'll eat it. If there's not, there's not. Right? But us humans, we like to evaluate, we like to process things, we label things, we talk about things. Our prefrontal cortex is where we do all of this thinking, this engagement. And so we, on the other hand, unlike Cuz, we can totally lie. We can bullshit ourselves, we can bullshit our friends, we can bullshit our family, we can lay it out as thick and as far and as long. We're good at that. That's what our prefrontal cortex does. That make sense? So one of the biggest differences between horses and humans that we're going to explore deeply today is that horses have experiences. People tell stories about their experiences. That make sense? Cuz isn't going to lie about anything. He's just going to reflect what he feels like in the given moment. He's just a horse, and he's just operating off of what things feel like. What environment is he in? What pressure is he under? Where's his escape routes? Where's his safety? That's all he's just evaluating. Us humans, on the other hand, will tell all kinds of stories about all of that, about our safety, about our environment, about everything in our lives. So, trying to think where I want to get started. One thing I do want to also let you guys know is there's no script or check boxes or an agenda that I'm going through out here today. This is just get started, and we just see where things kind of flow and go to. That way, all of you are very pleased with what I said, because nobody knows what the hell I'm supposed to say. That makes sense? You cannot be disappointed in what you hear me say today, because none of you have any idea what I'm supposed to say or what we're supposed to do or anything like that. And that makes me feel very good and successful too, because like I just got to show up and do my thing and it'll be perfect. Does that make sense? Yes, Cami Sue. Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, yes. So yes, if you need restroom, bathrooms, grab Cami and she'll take you in and handle that. Thank you. I know. Okay. Any other like things? Yeah, okay. I'll talk a little bit. Well, my name is Wes Taylor, and I'm a horse and human behaviorist. And what that means is I like watching. I like seeing what's going on. I like observe behaviors. How do people sit? How do they walk? What does that couple look like walking through Walmart? Are they, a little tense? Are they feeling lovey-dovey? Or what's going on? Or watch that little kid and look, he wants mom to talk to him, but mom's ignoring him, and I watch all those little behaviors. They mean a lot to me as far as what's going on neurochemically on the inside. And I've learned that from watching horses for 13 years, watching their every move. It took me a while to get to where I was watching their every move, because for a long time I had my agenda and we were doing things my way. And I learned a lot of really super cool, valuable life lessons that way. One that we love to use at the ranch all the time is don't let the red stuff out of your body. Really hard to put it back in. I learned that by trying to do things my way. Another great quote that we have at the ranch that we learned by doing things my way is pain is a great teacher. So I've learned lots of awesome things. I'm not saying they were all from a book or easy, but I've learned lots of awesome life principles hanging out with these wild horses for the last 10, 12 years and studying their behavior. And as I watched their behavior and as I was kind of working with them, so how it started, people would pay me to help them get their horse, rideable or safe, or, help them get their horse through whatever issues they were having. So this has been my career. I've been paying the bills doing this for 12 years. Not all the bills, but, some of the bills get paid most of the time. There's times they don't all get paid. So, but as I was working with all these horses, and the further I got into the science and understanding scientifically how they operated, which was a big shift for me, and that just happened in the last, I'd say, 8 years. But once I started kind of following that along, I got really paying attention to the horses, like, wow, how is it that these wild horses can make this huge life transformation? So let's put a little perspective on this. Cuz is 8 years old, and he's been wild for 8 years. We just started working with him a few months ago. So, and the other wild horse, how can these wild horses that lived out in Mother Nature, lived out in the desert right here in the Western US, they still live and run in the wild. How is it that we can bring that horse into an environment and go through some processes and then have that horse be absolutely, totally comfortable, feel safe and feel calm in any environment? How's that possible? And especially if that happens in a short period of time, and I'll give a good short period of time and say, 6 months. That horse to go through a training process, and within 6 months to be able to ride that horse, down next to the highway, or go ride it in town on the sidewalks, or, whatever you're going to go do. How is that possible that that horse could have such a massive transformation? I want to kind of leave that question lingering with you. And then I want to ask if each of you internally, don't blurt it out loud, how old are you? How long have you been working on you? How is it that this horse can go through a transformation of going from its once safe environment into a new environment that nothing is safe, everything is a threat? How is it that that horse can find safety? How can it make that transformation? How is that possible? And then I want to ask you, how old are you and how long have you been doing this? And how safe do you feel in every environment? How confident do you feel about yourself in every environment? How safe do you feel with every other person that you're ever around? Is it somewhat easy for us all to agree that this would be a massive transformation for this horse? If he could do that in 6 months, might even be possible to do in 2 or 3 or 4, depending on how much work you put into it. Does that make sense? So I just want to kind of get the pendulum swinging here on what I'm talking about when I say this horse is making a massive transformation. I want you to have some perspective on your own life of what's possible. And then I want to share a story with you on how fast and how possible this can be for each of us. And many of us have gone through our life processes. I'm sure all of you are different people than you were 10 years ago. Is that fair to say? We all feel like I'm different than I was 10 years ago, for sure. Change can happen in an instant, in an hour, in a day, in a week, a month, a year, a decade. It's up to us and the amount of pressure that we're willing to allow ourselves to be under, because change only comes under pressure. So what do I mean by pressure? What do you guys think some life pressures are? Let's throw some out. Now, I like talking, so when I ask, feel free to throw it out there. But what is pressure? What might pressure be in life? Expectation. So if either somebody's expecting something of us, who said that? Let me scan. I'm looking. Okay. Did we go over this? Were you here? I'll do the talk thing again because I know you're fine. So what I want to just share, I am totally deaf in my right ear. My left ear only works half the time and only 10% when my wife is speaking to me. So what that means when you're talking, like I can't tell where it's coming from. So when I say yell it out and I'm like, that was awesome. And you're sitting over here. So I need to find you is what I'm saying. So when I say yell it out, I kind of mean, hey, West, I'm over here. I want to yell this out so I can like, yeah. Is that fair? Okay. It helps me from not feeling so embarrassed. Because I used to not tell anybody that because I was embarrassed that I couldn't hear very good. And why do I want to tell people I can't hear? That'd be embarrassing. Well, right now, I frankly just don't give a shit anymore. I'm trying to just give less shits about things, and that's one of them. Is what people think. So I just want to be comfortable. So I can't hear. I got to make eye contact and like get on you and be like, Lacey, I got eye locked on you. Speak to me. I got you. But if I don't have that, I might think somebody else is talking. So yes, expectations. What else might pressure be in life? What? Parent. Oh my gosh. Parents are there's a lot of pressure in that. And then you are the pressure applier. You are the applicator of pressure. Yes. What else in life might cause us pressure? Careers, job, family, exercise, health. What was this one? Money. Oh my goodness. Yes. What that? Dogs. Oh, yes. Puppies. Yeah, Cami decided she wanted a dog. We'll talk about that later. Did you, man, attention? Did you see I got her attention like right now? We'll talk about that later. So life's pressure. So change happens under pressure. That was my point. We're talking about how does change happen? I would love to tell you all that you can make massive life changes in your life and all you got to do is read a book. Or I would even like to tell you that you can make massive life changes in your life and all you got to do is go to a weekend retreat. And I'm not paying. Millie's got other people here on weekend retreats. I love retreats. We do retreats. That's awesome. No, I'm saying we're going to get to the next part, which is all about that. Yeah, I know. It's not good at selling retreats when I'm up here. The what? Yes, I've been to your program. I've been through it 1.5 times. Change comes under pressure, through struggle, in an experience. That's as simple as I can put it. Now, we'll make it complicated. We'll talk about it for the next hour. But if that's the gold nugget and that's all you wanted was the gold nugget, you got it. Make that into something and go transform your life. That's the gold nugget. But we'll spend the next 1.5 hours trying to make that make sense. So change comes under pressure, through struggle, in an experience. So we got Cuz here to hang out and teach us. He's going to show us this, but I want to share a couple of life experiences where I experienced change and transformation really, really fast in a short period of time, minutes. So I was working with a horse. This was about 9 years ago, I'd say, about 9. And so I was working with this horse. My neighbor brought me this horse. They're like, hey, Wes, can you just work with this horse a little bit? Just kind of take the edge off. I need to go gather cows on the weekend. And I want this horse to, be able to go gather cows. Code, what he was saying was, I don't want to look like a dumbass in front of my cowboy friends. Can you make this horse be good? That was code. I didn't know that at the time because I didn't have very many experiences, but I was getting some. So he brings me this horse and he's like, yeah, she's fine. I just put a few rides on her, want to make sure she's safe and that I can feel good going up on the mountain, gather the cows. That'd be great. I'm like, sure, okay. So I bring this horse to my place. We get in the round pen like this, but at the ranch, and we're in the round pen, and I'm tinkering around with this horse. We get her saddled up. I actually spend a few days just kind of exploring this horse. I'm new at working with horses at this point, right? This was 9 years ago, so I'm 3 years in. I know little at 3 years, very little, but I know enough that I can kind of get around a horse. And so we spend a few days, we get ready to ride this horse. And I tell Cam, he's like, honey, I need you to come out and ride this horse. Or I did not say that. I did not say come out and ride that horse. I said, I need you to come out and watch while I ride this horse. You know, maybe take a picture. We'll send it to the client. You know, I'm trying to build my business, figure out how to interact with clients, and so that I can, you know, have them feel good. And so she says, okay. So she comes out. I got the horse all saddled up, and I get on. We walk around. Everything is just fine. Nothing really happens. She walks around just like I think a horse is supposed to walk around. So then I'm like, well, all right, let's put this under a little bit more pressure, right? You can't go gather cows on the mountain, let a walk. Like, what if you got to trot? You know, what if you need to go somewhere kind of faster? You got to be able to, you know, walk, trot, run. So like, all right, let's trot. Let's get this horse up to a trot. And the trot's kind of this little jog type pace, if you've seen horses do that. So I asked this horse up to the trot, and she takes about 2 steps. And the next thing I know, I have got 1,200 pounds of horse coming right up between my legs. And she is just right here, just boom, like a rocket, just blew up and come right up. Comes back down. I land back in the saddle, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, whoo, what was that? I was asking him, like, what happened? Did you see anything? I mean, like, I was like, what the hell just happened? I said, no, I don't know. I didn't see anything. Like, okay. Maybe it was just a thing, right? I have very little experience with horses at this point in my life, right? I'm like, well, we'll just see. I don't know, maybe it's a thing. So I walked around some more. I'm like, okay, we're still feeling good. Let's go up to the trot again. So I asked her up to the trot, and boom, again, I've got just black hair. I've got coming right up in front of me. She goes up, does a straight up, comes back down again. I'm trying to grab a hold of the front of the saddle. She hits the ground. She comes up again. And I was like, oh. And this time when she come up, I felt the saddle slide through the back of my legs. So she's jumped straight up in the air. The saddle's gone through my legs. I'm holding on the front of the saddle. So what do I look like? I'm like, Superman. Well, we're flying, baby. She comes back down, lands on her back feet, comes down, front feet hit the ground, her head goes, swings underneath, right? She comes down, building up again. And so when she goes down and bends over, and I'm holding on to the front of the saddle, what am I now doing? Well, now I'm doing Superman this way, right? Because it's kind of rolled like that. And so it's pulling me forward. She goes down, her head comes back up. And as her head comes up, where do you think my head's going? I'm flying forward, her head's flying up. So I caught the back of her head with the left side of my face, and it destroyed pretty much all of my facial structures on the left side of my face. My nose was smashed into, there was no nose. Apparently it's all cartilage. There's not really like a bone. It's just all cartilagey stuff that can just get squished into pieces. It got all smashed. Lots of other things happen. I'm going to kind of try to fast forward this a little bit, not get too deep into it, but a few ambulance rides and 300 miles and 3 hospitals later, I find myself in the ICU in the recovery room. They've got my face put back together. Everything's stable. My family now knows I'm not going to die, but for the previous 10 hours, it was questionable. Nobody really knew what was going to happen. And so I'm laying there in the hospital bed and asking myself, what do I do from here? Now what? I just had this horrific experience with a horse, and I'm in the hospital. scared everybody in my life to pieces. What am I going to do now? I'm laying there in that hospital bed. I'd had a few questions kind of roll into my mind. And one thing that I heard very clearly laying there in that hospital bed was, Wes, the story you tell yourself about this experience will forever change your life. That's it. The story you tell yourself about this experience will forever change your life. I'm laying there alone in the hospital, equipment beeping and clicking, and it's quiet. And I'm hearing this go through my mind. And I'm like, the story I tell myself, what could that be? What do you mean? But what I'm learning, when angels or intuition speaks to you, they just lay it out and that's it. You got to figure it out. There's not like chapter 2. This is just the title of the book. You got to write the book, right? But here's the name. Here's the top. So I laid there thinking and asking myself, well, what am I going to do? I almost died, 15 hours ago. My mind's racing. Well, Wes, you should get out of this. You kind of suck at this. Didn't work out so good. I mean, that was just an everyday horse and you're in the hospital. What are you going to do? And I laid there. And the story that I told myself was this. Well, one, I had to make a decision. Am I in or am I out with the horses? I had to make that decision first before I could even tell the story, because that decision would then dictate the story I was going to tell. Does that make sense? I had to know, am I in or am I out? Am I doing this or not doing this? Am I going to go back to my old ways of being, back to my old life, my old career, my old things? Or am I going to stick with this new thing, this dangerous thing, this thing that you think that you like, this thing that you're questionable whether you're any good at or not, this thing that you don't really see a lot of people be super successful at, right? But it looks cool. Man, I don't know. I'm laying there like, no, I'm in. I'm doing this. I'm committed to the horses. I'm doing this. I'll figure it out. So there's my first decision. I am in. I made that decision. And then I had the story to tell. So I'm like, all right, what's the story? Because the story I tell about this experience will forever change my life. What's the story? So I laid there, and this is the story that I told. In order for me to live and interact with horses, to be my passion, to be my purpose, to live my highest self at this time, this was 9 years ago, I had no idea what I was telling myself I could do. But I later told myself that I'm in and I'm doing this with the horses. And in order for me to be able to do this with the horses and to do it safely and to want to do it and to not be afraid to do it, that I would need to have a brain surgery. I would need to have a brain surgery that would open up my intuition. I would need a brain surgery that would open me up to people so I could connect with people, that I could speak with people. I would need a brain surgery that would allow me to let all of me shine through. I would need a brain surgery to help me with my confidence. So I'm laying there in the hospital bed and going, well, no human doctor could perform such a brain surgery. Right? I mean, if they could, would we all go get one? Would we be like, dude, fix me up? Like, I want to think happy thoughts all the time, not just over coffee in the morning. Right? So no human doctor can give me this brain surgery. So I'm laying there and I go, well, the horse can. The horse did. So that experience, to me, it wasn't an accident. I won't even label it an accident because I don't believe in accidents. I think everything happens for a reason. It's our job as humans to figure out what the hell it is and learn from it, move on. So it's an incident. I call it an incident or an experience that resonates with me, that feels truthful to me, that feels accountable to me. So I had this horse experience, and this horse took me within that edge of my life. And through that experience, I then got to move forward and live my life with that story as my back, as my foundation, as my base. Does that make sense? So how long did it take for me to have that transformational moment? Did it happen when I got hit by the horse in the round pen? Did it happen in the 3 different ambulance rides, 3 different hospitals that I went to? They were trying to save me? Did it happen in the surgery room? I'm here to tell you that it happened the exact moment I told myself the story. So I'll say it took about 37 seconds. Under that level of pressure, with that experience, and through the struggle that I had after that to keep a hold of that story. You know how hard it's been for me to hold that story for 9 years? I'd like to tell you that was the last time I got hurt, but I'd be lying to you. Or I'd like to tell you that, man, it's been easy. People have just handed me money right and left since then. And that'd be bullshit too. Right? That just give me the story to stand on. That just give me the cover of the book. But I've had to write every single page after that, every single day, put my story in the book of what that means. So when transformation happens, for us humans, it is absolutely connected to our stories. Horses have experiences, and so Cuz is going to show us some experiences here in a moment. And then humans tell stories about their experiences. It's these stories that we tell ourselves that set us up for the chapters in our book. Because how we tell ourselves the experience happened, or how we allow somebody else to tell us how the experience happened, you know, we take on somebody else's story and make it our own, true or false, good or bad, right or wrong. Our neurochemical system will prove that story to be true. So we're going to jump into some science. Any questions? Yes.
Okay, because I do have to know about that.
Oh, okay.
Like you did have the bean, but I watched the bean, so I don't ride a horse too. Like I get anxiety thinking about it.
Right.
Because I want to ride a horse too, but I can't. I can't just say a story that I'm not going to get through, or you know. But so I just want to share that because it's a good story. I have the perfect horse.
Yes.
I'm a perfect horse trainer, but what keeps me stopped is like so much fear.
Well, and that's how powerful those neurochemicals are. I know. Our damn humanness, right? Our humanness. Yes, trauma. I'm learning, and I had my neuroscience friend that helped me figure out the science with the horses. He's a human neuroscientist, and I remember him telling me a number of years ago. He's like, Wes, trauma takes a lot longer. It takes a lot longer to undo trauma than it does to just have a fresh experience and work yourself through that fresh experience. I was talking to him about horses, but I now can relate it to humans. But what he told me about horses was that it might take 100 good experiences for a horse to let go a little bit of a bad experience, you know, something that was traumatizing. They might need 100 good ones before they'll kind of be like, okay, maybe I'm all right. Overlay that onto humans, and I might say we might need 1,000 good ones because we tell stories. Or the more we can get a hold of those stories, might shorten that down. So let's talk a little bit between experiences, what we're going to see Cuz here in a moment. Y'all want to see Cuz. I know I've talked long enough. Let's get on with the show already, right? It's like, come on. So Cuz, his autonomic system, his fight-flight system works the same as yours. Do you guys know that you have a fight-flight system? Okay. And this fight flight system, you might look at it or think of it to yourself like, oh, my flight system is what will save me if I'm being chased by a tiger, right? Like, okay, if I run into a tiger at Walmart, I think I'll kick into my instinctive behaviors and I will go, that's a tiger, I should run, right? That's us at a very core instinctive level. I want y'all to tune into your very subconscious, the very softest levels that you fight or that you fight. Now, Cami and I, we use us for examples all the time, so we're good with this, right, baby? Okay, I got the buy-in. Did you hear that? I got her agree. If we're having a conversation with the intensity that I close the door when I leave the room, can be fight or flight. Does that make sense? You guys familiar with the door closing? Do you all know what that's like? That door can close very softly and like you don't even want the lock to tick when it closes. You're like, how? Or you can just pull the door hinges right off when you close it. Right? Our fight flight. We can be all over the place with it. When we're in fight flight mode, we're influenced by cortisol and adrenaline. I'm going to keep things super simple because I'm a cowboy and I'm not a real scientist, but I use scientific terms and I've learned a lot about these things through the horse. Is that fair enough? We have lots of neurochemicals in our body, and I'm only going to stick with probably about 4 that we'll talk about today. Cortisol and adrenaline. What do you know about cortisol? Stress. Enough said. Cortisol, stress, worry. So if you're stressed and worried, you've got cortisol going through your system. Adrenaline. What does adrenaline do for us? Kind of get us moving. Might get us moving, right? We got to have some adrenaline, get things cranking. If I got a tiger chasing me at Walmart, I'm going to activate some adrenaline release and I'm going to run. Right? I'm going to need some adrenaline to make that happen. And then we've got so that's our sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight. Then we've got parasympathetic, which is rest, relax. We'll keep it simple with that. What is our parasympathetic system like? Fight, flight lives in sympathetic. Parasympathetic is rest, relax. So parasympathetic is when we're more calm. We're maybe hanging out. Some dude's backyard in Utah. He's talking about horses. I hope you're parasympathetic. But later I'm going to call on one of you to come out and do a demo out here with me. There's your cortisol. Okay? I just won't tell which one of you it is until the very end, so you all can worry the same until then. You're not really coming out here. There's dopamine. Okay, our parasympathetic is dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine is nicknamed the I want to do it again drug. Serotonin balances our emotions. Humans have a lot of emotions. Horses have a few. Keep things simple. We're going to call our emotions fear, safety. Is that? We've got lots more in between because we're human and we tell stories and we can make shit up and we can blend all kinds of stuff together. We're going to make our own cocktails. So we're going to get with Cuz, and I'm going to have Cuz show you his fight, flight, and his rest, relax, his parasympathetic, cortisol and adrenaline, and some dopamine and serotonin. Fair enough? Now, Cuz can't think, right? Can Cuz like process a thought? He's just being his best self. He's just like, I'm going to stand here and be my best horse. Nobody's asking me anything. Nobody's telling me nothing. I'm happy if I can just stand, breathe oxygen, and just breathe. I'm good. All right, we got it. He's an animal. Our prefrontal cortex does all of our thinking. Just a minute. So, Cuz, I mean, he watched me put these tarps down, right? Like if I walk on here, did I fall to my death? Not yet. What about over here? No, I didn't fall there. What about here? No, here. See, so he's watching, right? Would you all agree that it would be totally safe for Cuz to stand here? Like, right? Because I can tell you this. You guys just watched me walk around on this. I'm telling you, there's just dirt underneath here. There's no trick. There's no magic. There's nothing. This is totally safe. So if Cuz could think and evaluate, he would kind of watch all that and check it out. And he'd be like, okay, no big deal. It's a tarp on the ground. What's the problem? But Cuz can't do that. All Cuz can do is feel. What do I feel like? And he's got two options for that: fear or safety. That makes sense? Do I feel fearful? Sympathetic, fight, flight. Do I feel safe? Rest, relax, parasympathetic, dopamine, serotonin. So I'm going to ask Cuz to come over here, and then I want you guys to tell me, what do you think he feels like? Now I've got the blue barrels here just to kind of direct him off the fence a little bit so that he's not like right underneath you, so that everybody can kind of see. So we'll just send him over here. Let's see what. What's he saying so far? It's like, yeah, I don't think so. So let's put a little more pressure. Life will give, no, not over here to me. You go find something. Yep. Nope, go find something over there. Oh, jeez. Okay, what do you feel like? What do you feel like Cuz feels like about this? No. No, heck no. Heck no. All right, I got a question for all of you. What's one thing in your life that you feel the same about? Oh, heck no. What's your oh, heck no? Think about it. What's the thing in your life that you're like, oh, heck no? Not dealing with that. Not going to do that. You got some ideas? Nod your head if you got like kind of a thought. She's like, yes, and I don't want to, I don't even want to, But I got it. I know what it is. You know what it is? Everybody got kind of a thing? I want you to imagine, because you can, because you're human, you got this prefrontal cortex, you can tell crazy ass stories. So I want you to imagine this is that oh heck no thing. You with me? And Cuz is your autonomic system. You are Cuz. I am life. This is the circle of life. Here's an experience with the thing that's your oh heck no, and then this is you. Y'all with me? Life will always be putting pressure on you. One thing I'm learning, that Cami and I are learning, is we're not going to get through life without pressure, but we can get through life learning how to deal with pressure. The better we can manage pressure, the better our life feels to be. The less we manage pressure, then the more confusing. All right, so let's take a look at all of you guys. Here's your thing. I'm life, I'm pressure. Here's the circle of life. So we can look at this as a day or a week or a month or a year or a decade. This circle, right? Does that make sense? All right. All right, Cuz, tell me what all these people are thinking about their stuff. What are they thinking about their stuff? Oh, they want to avoid their stuff. Well, what if life sends us this way, Cuz? What about their stuff? Oh, show me their stuff. Show me their stuff. Oh, whew. Let's look at it again, Cuz. Let's go look at it again. No, go deal with the stuff. Familiar to anybody? Who is this? Do you dare raise your hand? I got a couple of hands like, yes, that is me. All right, let's just put a little more pressure. Life's going to keep doing its thing. We're shortcutting. We'll see if life can put a little more pressure. Let's go look again. Oh. So what's happening? Adrenaline and what else? Oh, a little closer with the more pressure. He got closer, but he also got faster, right? Got more worried, more cortisol, more adrenaline, right? So does this feel like a life pattern? Feel like somewhere where we've been? I know I've done that. Avoided my stuff. Matter of fact, I'm damn good at avoiding some of my stuff. I'm really good. Really good. So could you feel the cortisol and adrenaline? So when we're in fight flight mode, we're stressed, we're in the sympathetic nervous system, our body's doing a lot of things. The main thing that our body's going to do is turn our stomach off. So if you're chronically stressed, chronically in sympathetic, you might experience stomach issues because your stomach is always off. You're not digesting because our stomach isn't on and relaxed and feeling safe. When we're feeling threatened and cautious, our body says, don't worry about that burrito. We got to run from the freaking lion. Let's not digest food. Let's crank up cortisol and adrenaline. Let's keep running and going and running and going. Our heart rate increases. Our breathing gets short and shallow. Could you guys hear, cuz? Yeah, you hear some of the breaths he had? Our breathing will get short and shallow. Heart rate increases. And for cuz, his head's going to get higher. He's going to get more stressed because he's up here wanting to see the horizon. He's like, how the hell do I get out of here? That's what he wants to know. Now, to get cuz to check some of this stuff out, or to get you to take a look at your stuff, we got to change your story about the stuff. Because if I still called the horse thing an accident, and that I had a terrible horse that did this bad, mean thing to me, I doubt I would be standing here. Because I'd be blaming the horse and blaming the guy, blaming something else or somebody else. So we're going to ask you to come up and take a look at your stuff. But what I want you to tell you about making change about your stuff, when you can do it calmly, when you can have enough pressure to get you to look at it, but when you can slow things down enough that you can feel what you feel like. Cuz wasn't feeling his body too much. He was just gone because he was already triggered. You guys familiar with the term being triggered? Or you're upregulated, you can't come out of it. So we're going to send Cuz back over here, but this time we're going to slow his autonomic system down. We're going to get him more into the parasympathetic, the rest, relax, and get the dopamine working for him so he can have the I want to do it again drug and feel safe. When we can start getting safety involved by slowing things down, and we call it the pause button, hitting pause. Can I slow things down? So we'll bring Cuz up and take a look. What I want you to watch Cuz to do, as he gets closer, and I'm going to have less pressure, I'm wanting to see him lower his head, because when his head is down, he's engaged with what's going on. Head up, he's out and gone. His breathing will change. You'll see him take a big breath. What you'll see mostly that I want you to watch for, you'll see his mouth lick and chew is what we call it. Cami loves it when I do this part because she's kind of embarrassed. Oh, good, you're going in the house. You're going to see Cuz do that. What does that mean? Besides, you're glad you're not doing that. It's me. I even did that on camera. Licking and chewing, baby. When the horse licks and chews, he's going through a little chemical transition. He's licking and chewing because his salivatory glands got turned on. His salivatory glands got turned on because his stomach got turned back on. His stomach got turned back on because he felt he had time and space to relax, to engage, to pause, to slow it down, to feel what's happening in this exact moment. Does that make sense? So you'll see that after the release of some pressure. So we're going to send Cuz over here. Let's get him up here taking a look. So I'm going to slow this down. Okay, watch his head here. It's up high. Watch, you maybe hear him breathe. Head come down. I want you to watch for him to lick and chew. That's going to be his autonomic system saying, I'm trying to figure things out. I'm trying to slow down a little bit. I'm trying to find safety. Head down, he's trying to find safety. Whoa, see how he's having an experience. How many of you have this experience when you're stressed and worried about something? You should see me for, never mind. Let's just keep watching. See how high up his head is. Oh, what's happening? So that's because his autonomic system saying, hang on a second. I feel like something's happening here. So he had a little chemical change. That right before the licking and chewing is a dopamine release. Oh, go back over there. There you go. You just stand right there and look pretty. No, not me. Just go over there and look pretty. Good. There we go. Let's just stand right there. So cousin I've got enough communication skills. I can kind of coach him to get him in position for the win or for whatever it is I'm trying to set him up for. But before he's going to touch and get on that tarp or feel comfortable about that, he's going to need to have a few of these chemical changes and be able to relax his autonomic system and create a little bit of internal safety. You hear what I said? Internal safety. When we can create internal safety, we can take it with us. But when we believe our safety depends on the environment or depends on the people that we're around, now you're trying to control everything. Good freaking luck. There's a lot of shit out there to control. You're going to be busy. You got your whole lifetime to do it too. Internal safety. So having him slow down. Nope. Oh boy. You just touched it. We're going to hang out right here a minute. I want him to put his nose down and touch it. You guys see the whiskers on the end of his nose? Can you see them? Those are called vibrissae. Each one has its own nerve cell for feel, for touch, to know what things feel like. So that's how he feels his environment, is through those little whiskers on his muzzle. Whoa. Did somebody just do a little test, a little experiment right there? Here's what, we use this phrase a lot too. And you didn't die. He comes pre-wired from the factory that everything is a threat until proven otherwise. He can't look at that and make a cognitive decision and make an evaluative decision and say, oh, that's fine, I can just step on it. He's got to have an experience and then check that with what he feels like. Let's go check it out a little more. Each time he looks at me, I'm just telling him, I'm not the answer. Trying to get him to figure out my puzzle piece. When he figures out what I'm asking, which is for him to touch that tarp, or if he'll put a foot on it, we'll have a bigger release. But that's what I wanted right there. What did he just do? You almost died, cuz. Almost died, dude. Man. How many of you done that? You might take a look at your thing and then it's like, oh, and then you just lose your shit. You just like, ah, have a total break apart. See, his autonomic system is wired right now. He's tight. Can you guys feel that? He's not sitting in a hot tub, relaxed, having a drink. He's just jumped out of an airplane without a parachute. So he's trying to find safety. He's trying to find what is safety. And the more of these little neurochemicals change, I can set him up. So he's licked and chewed 3 times. How many times did he lick and chew earlier when we were just running around? Probably none. But Mark's back there telling me 1 because Mark watches these things.
45 while you were telling your story.
See?
You landed around and it took you 5 minutes to take 1.
The horse is not lying. Licked and chewed 45 times over there. I feel 45 times better over there than I do over here. But my job as life is to get all of you comfortable right there. Not to get you comfortable, for me to just set you up for you to find your safety about your thing. That's all life's putting us under pressure for, to figure ourselves out. How do I find safety internal? All right, cuz you didn't die last time. Oh boy. No, that's not going to work over there. Pressure. There you go. Come back to the tarp right there. It's not me though. Go look at the tarp. How often do we want to turn and look and find somebody else to try to have them fix our stuff? Not me, cuz you got to do it, dude. Not me. You got to do it. I don't want to. The lower his head, the more attentive he is to the thing. You guys heard the quote, where your attention goes, your energy flows? Not me. Go do some work. It's not me. Go do some work. Can you tell when his attention is on it and when it's off of it? And he's mostly off of it because he's looking for me to be the release. He's got to put his head down and he's got to want to. He's got to find his own desire, his own drive, his own thing to go take a look at this stuff, this thing. So this is where us humans tell stories, right? Cuz is right in the middle of this experience. He's just feeling what he feels like right now, his stress levels. He's still stressed, but the more of this we can have happen, this licking and chewing, and the lower he can put his head down. I know he's not going to get on there until his head can go down there. He's touched it once. Or if he does go on there, he'll just run across. So if he can have the time, can you feel how edgy he is? This is how we are most of the time. We're freaking wired. Always feeling like something's going to get us, something's right there. He's got to relax a lot before he's going to be able to make progress. Does that make sense? I can go put a bunch of pressure on him. He could jump it. He could turn and leave. But that's not going to get through this experience. Does that make sense? Your stories will turn you around. Your stories will tell you to jump. Your stories will say it's about somebody else. It's about life. I used to believe for a long time in my life that I just got dealt a shitty card of life. My life was just meant to be yuck. I lived that way for 15 years in alcohol. I was just born like this. This is just how I'm going to be. If you don't like it, leave. I can't change. This is how I am. This is who I am. I believed that for a long time. That was my story. Life's going to put a little more pressure here. You're right here at this thing. You're right on it. Can you self-regulate? Right? Can you manage your chemicals? Can you keep yourself engaged enough? There was a story. Oh, but they'll laugh at me. Oh, I'll be embarrassed. Oh, I'll probably fail. I was born in the wrong neighborhood. I had the wrong parents. I'm not pretty enough. I'm too pretty. My body's just not made that way. It's in my DNA. See how those stories, man, that turned you right away. What happened right there? Somebody was a badass who just looked at their stuff for real and was like, okay, I'll touch it. And you didn't die. Almost though. But he's still wired, right? All right, cuz let's check this out again. You didn't die 2 times now. Cats have 9 lives. I don't know how many you got, bud, but so how life can build all the pressure. Hang on, just pause a minute, cuz. Pause. I want to talk. Pause. Just chill. Life will put all the pressure in all the right places to get you to just try, to just a little bit, just maybe, just kind of, just sort of. What you guys don't know is that I'm standing energetically in the exact spot and putting pressure on Cuz in all the places to get him to move forward in that space. If I step more this way and apply pressure, he'll turn and leave. That makes sense? I mean, I'm energetically putting my energy, my pressure on him and saying there's one place you can go that'll release the pressure. Life is really, really good at putting this pressure on you. It knows what the hell it's doing. It's energy. Where we get jacked up is we think that the pressure is a bad thing. I must be doing it wrong if it feels uncomfortable. I'm here to tell you it's just the opposite. The more uncomfortable and shitty you feel about the thing that you're going through man, you are on the bullseye. You're on it. You're right where life wants you to be, to feel the experience. And then tell yourself a different story. Because the stories you tell yourself will change and anchor your life. Does that make sense? Cuz just can't tell any stories. He's just feeling this. All right, let's try again. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What did he do? Well, I'm waiting for him to lick and chew. He's like, I want him to have the I want to do it again drug. If that big experiment, that big experience, he just risked his life. It felt like he was jumping off a cliff. And then that experience can feel good. Life hack right there, you guys. What if we could feel good doing the scariest damn thing that's got us just petrified? Go try again, bud. You did fantastic. Yes, go. Let's show some people how brave. Let's just get right back where you were. Right there. That's good. No, just yeah. Uh-huh. Feel how we're trying to balance this energy? All right, we're gonna take that. There we go. He's like, what? Let's come back this way. I want to talk to everybody, but just back over that. There you go, right there. Just hang out right there. All right, what'd you guys see him do on that side? What happened? You see how much pressure I was putting on? Like I was trying to kind of get him to maybe stand there with one foot on. But his level of safety told him he couldn't do that. Did you notice that? He's like, I can do an experiment and then go back to safety. I can check it out and come back to safety. And then I asked for more and he's like, I can do that and let me just get to safety. And went to the other side. But he just had an experience and he didn't die. But he felt like it, full of cortisol, full of adrenaline right there through that. So we're going to bring him back over and just do some little steps. But what does this mean to you? What are you seeing? You're not totally wrong, and I have a thing with that. Keep going. What else? Yes. Where are we at, Raylene? I heard your voice, but I don't. There you are. I heard your voice. I know who that is. He just had an experience with neurochemicals of cortisol and adrenaline. We describe it as fear. That's our story. Those are our words. So what I want to say is he doesn't We experience fear and trust by our human definition of the word. He's having a neurochemical experience. End of story. So him trusting me, no. Him finding safety within, starting. Does that say the same thing-ish? All right, cuz let's take another lap around the planet. Let's just hang out right there. Questions? Our stories, the stories that we tell ourselves or allow to be told, create the neurochemicals that make our story true to us. Does that make sense? He's having a neurochemical experience. We tell stories about our neurochemical experience. So our stories might blame somebody else, might blame ourselves, might blame the environment. He's just having a neurochemical experience. No stories, no discussion. So the stories that we tell ourselves create our neurochemistry. How many of you, want to ask you to find what's that thing in your life? How many of you started thinking about it and you felt yourself kind of on the inside like, oh yeah, I know that thing. Our stories will create our neurochemicals. How many of you believe something to be true to find out it wasn't true later? And you're like, oh, damn. I sure called that guy a bunch of names for a long time. And then it wasn't even him. Huh. I was pissed off and mad and upset at a guy for 6 months. Does that make sense? That our stories create our chemistry. As you get to manage your stories, control the narrative, you're controlling your neurochemistry. And when you can control your neurochemistry, that's where the changes start to happen. Because without controlling your story, you're still running around out here not engaging with this. Does that make sense? Had we not changed Cuz's experience, he would still be out here moving around. If you don't change your story, your same thing will be true forever. Let's go check it again. Woo, much better that time as far as speed, right? So what is Mother Nature and science telling you about you and your stuff? Louder. Face it. Only if you want to do something about it. But if you want it to do something about you, do what Cuz was doing earlier. I got things in my life that I still know I'm out there. And then I got other things in my life, man, I am in it. Like, I'm gonna stand here, I'm gonna own this. I've been working with him for like the last few weeks on being attentive to me, like pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Hey dude, pay attention, to relax, pay attention. He won't take his eyes off me. And that's why the whole other time I'm like, no, it's not me. He's like, but the answer's been you for the last 3 weeks. I'm like, well, today's different. So yeah, he is like, he probably won't take his eyes off me because we've been working on, because where your attention goes, your energy flows. I need him attentive to me so we can relax and chill out. If he's attentive to the barrel and the fence and to 27 other people up here, he's going to be sky high, crank full of cortisol and adrenaline, and I'm not going to have any communication skills with him. What time is it, Mel? 5:13. Okay. Let's have some discussions here. Let me bring him around the other side though. Go around the other way here, because oh yeah, you're doing great. So a few moments ago, what was a hell no? Remember he was running out here. It was a hell no, right? It was your thing. What'd you say? You said, you're like, oh no, hell no. Okay, it was a hell no. I can't tell him anything like, hey, dude, you'll be fine. It's just plastic. It's just a tarp. There's dirt. You won't die. Like, I can't tell him that. All I can do is influence his neurochemistry to get him feeling safer about the setup, the experience. And by changing his neurochemistry, right there, dude, he can then, for a moment, stand on the scary spot. Why is he backing off of there? He's not relaxed enough to stand there, but like he backed up and licked and chewed right there. See how he licked and chewed when he got back there? This is the exact scientific model of how to make transformational change in your life. Get out of your comfort zone, have an experience, feel your neurochemicals, feel that you're about to shit your pants, feel yourself you're about to freak out, feel everything happening, and then breathe. And I didn't die. Whoo! Whoo! I did that thing. And then life's going to serve you up another opportunity, just like we did. Let's try again. Let's try another opportunity. Little jog at the end, but how easy was it for me to get him on there that time? How much pressure did it take compared to? So what is science and nature teaching you about your thing? It gets easier, but you gotta walk the walk. You gotta go check it out. You gotta go touch it. You gotta go feel it. You gotta go be with it. Stop right here and be with it. See, I didn't die. We're totally fine, dude. He's like, dude, it's past dinner time. That's all. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm just trying to relay what I'm learning from science and nature. Does it make sense to you? So our stories, do you have any thoughts that you have during the day? On average, science guys figured this out, not me. How many? Too many is the correct answer. Yeah, 70 and 80,000 thoughts a day. You know what kind of superhero you got to be to keep your shit lined up through 70,000 interruptions? That's what you need to be. Because all of those thoughts is what'll keep you from the thing. This might be your dream. This might be a good thing. It doesn't have to, it's not always a bad thing. Maybe you want to train horses and talk to people. You guys, there's no way in hell I would speak in public 10 years, 15 years ago. No way. Now I want you to put me in a stadium with 25,000 people. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do it. I got a horse. If I can have a horse be my co-speaker, I'm on. Let's do it. Yeah. So it's our stories that will turn us around or deny us, keep us out here, or it's our stories that'll get us walking this line. Does that make sense? We got to pause and slow it down and feel it. We're so conditioned as humans to do just what Cuz did. Remember at first, he's like, hell no, I ain't feeling that, but I'll run. I'll wear myself out. I'll work really hard. I'll get all sweaty, but no, I ain't going to do that. Or our humanists will tell us, okay, well, if I got to do that, it'll be better over there. Let's just, okay, I did it. I should be all fixed now, right? Everything's good. I did it. I went through the thing. Science and nature will tell you that's enough for right now. You're right where you're supposed to be. Feels like you're going to throw up. Feels like you're going to be embarrassed. Feels like you're going to be humiliated. Feels like you're not good enough. Yep, life wants you right there. Feel that. And then take a big breath. And you didn't die. Whew. Ah. And then take another big breath. Life wants you right here, being uncomfortable, in the struggle, and then owning it and telling your story. Because what can happen when you get to that point, and we almost, you're getting Cuz to stand here and relax and lick and chew and just get his head to drop. That's what Mother Nature and science will teach us about us. Go get in the middle of it and chill the hell out. That's it. Go get in the middle of it and relax. Own it. Be okay with it. Be embarrassed by it. Call it names, whatever. Stay there as long as you can and then back up to safety. Let your neurochemicals change. Go back to relax. Then the next time life gives you a little bump, you'll be like, well, hell, I know I can do 2 steps. Probably could do 3. Whoo, okay. That's it. It's in this pause. It's in this going slow is where the change happens. Our stories just zing us to the other side or turn us around. That's what the horses have taught me. We'll leave this and leave Cuz right here. But if you've got questions or thoughts, and we can move inside the garage and have a warmer space out of the wind, because I know I'm warm because I'm moving around and I'm on the high end and because I'm talking and I'm like the guy. So I'm not cold at all, but I imagine you guys might be a little chilly. Cammy always reminds me of that. I'm like, oh no, I was fine. So you couldn't hear their teeth rattling? No, didn't even notice. Didn't even notice. But let's just move in the garage for a minute. Here's what I would love. If you feel so inclined, I would love to hear what the horse taught you about you. I know what I said. I know what I saw. What I don't know is what you saw and what you heard. That make sense? We'll just go in there. It's a little warmer.
You're awesome.
Oh,
You're awesome. I wish it
oh no, I didn't hear it at all. All right, guys. Hey, we're gonna run inside and have a little chat. Well, this will end what we're doing here. Yeah, it's starting to rain and it's getting cold. And thank you guys for being on. And look forward to more. Thank you.